Welcome back to FFR Rando Marathon Winter 2023. My name is Hebbinks, and we're here with the Castlevania 2 Simon's Quest Randomizer. It's going to be run by Freeland and Zytoriak. Sorry, had to readjust my brain to read the name again. I've only just seen it for the second time now. Really quick, I wanted to tell everybody that we are here raising money for the Burn Children's Fund, sponsored by the Medical University of South Carolina. Their mission is to ease the recovery process for MUSC's pediatric burn patients and their families through supplies and training for the highest quality burn care, direct family support, and education. If you want to donate, go ahead and use the Tiltify link posted there in chat. One of their current projects going on right now is educating parents and family members about burn care and safety, funding for burn recovery handbooks and materials. So such a great cause. If you donate $25 tonight, you'll be entered to win a Steam gift card. So there is a little bit extra incentive if donating to a good cause wasn't already cause enough to donate. But without further ado, it looks like we are all set on our end. So I'm going to go ahead and throw it over to Billick, who's running comms for the race. Take it away.
All right, thanks. And as Hebix noted, we have Freeland and Zytoriak running tonight here. These are generally regarded as the two best runners of this randomizer. And they're going to be doing what we call town randomizer. That means that the towns and the mansions the locations are shuffled. So, with a few exceptions, any town and any mansion can be in any location on the map. And that's a difference from the standard randomizer, which is where the towns and the mansions are in vanilla locations. So if you were wondering what that was, that's what that is. And we have, again, Freeland and Zytoriak. Every CB2 randomizer tournament in which one of these two guys has participated, one of them has won. So these guys have pretty much dominated the randomizer, and we're going to be off, and we've got the Santa Claus spray, which apparently was the winner of the donation. And both guys are going to go in and check the items in these first three items in these shops. There we see that first item we saw there was an eyeball. That's one of the Dracula body parts, which is a required item to finish the game. The second item we saw was the silver knife, probably the least useful item in the game, and then the golden knife, which is a fairly useful sub-weapon, which they may or may not want to pick up. Tends to be pretty expensive. It was 113 hearts, which isn't too bad actually for that item. We're going to see here, they're going to go ahead and start to farm some hearts here. Hearts in Castlevania 2 give you both currency and experience. They're going to try to collect enough hearts to buy some of the items that they just saw. We have Freeland bit of divergence. Gonna check out what's on the left side. Looks like Zytoriak's gonna do the same. So we have the starting town is in a different location than you usually will see in the vanilla game. It's actually in the location where the first mansion usually is, where the mansion known as Berkeley Mansion. Runners are going to look for some enemies that are worth a lot of experience. Looks like Freeland's found a pretty good enemy set here. This is the graveyard enemy set. So we've got some mummies, we've got some giant plants, we've got some harpies. Those all drop big hearts, which are worth 5 experience and 6 hearts. We've got our first day-night transition happening as Freeland takes a death. Not a big deal there, but do have a little bit of a change from the vanilla game. In the randomizer, under normal flag sets, you only lose half your hearts and half your experience when you take a game over, as opposed to losing all of your hearts and all of your experience. So a little bit of a break there for our runners.
While we're grinding here, you got time for a quick donation?
Absolutely.
Alrighty, we got a $10 donation from Luffy DV. Says, just cause, it's a good cause. So thank you so much, Luffy, for that donation. Every little bit helps. Again, we're raising money for the Burn Children Fund. We are just, I want to say about $250 away from the summer total raised during the charity event. So if you guys want to beat summer, I know I do. I can't stand the heat. Go ahead and get those donations in using the Tiltify link in the chat.
Awesome. And now we've got Freeland going down and checking what is on the area below the starting area. Based on the enemy set there, that is the town of Yomi, which is the only town in the game that doesn't have any items available. Freeland buying that eyeball, I think we're going to see Zytoriak do that as well. Yep. Another thing you might have... Go ahead.
I was going to say, we just got another $10 donation from Classic Gamer 76. Says, what could be better than Santa freeing Transylvania from Dracula's curse? Why, a required war mech, of course. This is for a required war mech in FFR plus a link to the past tomorrow evening.
Well, you definitely have to love the required war mech. I'm all for that.
Indeed.
We had, so Zytoriak, we just saw a glitch. If you do a floor drop, then some of the towns, and scroll the screen into the next screen before the screen is fully scrolled, the game actually will toss you into the void, and you'll end up taking a death, and that's what happened to Zytoriak there. A little bit of a strange glitch, but not a huge deal there. Fortunately, dying isn't that punishing, especially depending on where you are. If you don't have to buy a whole lot of things immediately, it's not necessarily that bad to take a game over. Never see it. The other advantage of having the eyeball, besides being able to complete the game, lets you makes invisible clue books visible. And unlike in the vanilla game, in the randomizer, the clue books are actually useful. And every clue is going to tell you the location of one of the items, which, depending on what it is, can be either extremely useful or useless. I didn't happen to catch what that one was that got dismissed pretty quickly. It looked like the location of the nail, though, which is another required item.
I had a quick question about the grind here. So, when they're grinding in these locations, is it preferable to go for an area that's a little less dense in enemies because of lag?
Generally for a grind, what you're looking for are enemies that have low hit points and drop bigger hearts, because they give you more experience. The lag isn't as much of a concern in the randomizer as it is in like a speedrun situation, where you're looking to save every frame you can. Obviously you want to avoid lag when you can, but it's not that crucial. Okay, you see Freeland there picking up an oak stake. Oak stakes are required to break the orbs. Each mansion in the game will have one orb, oak stake to break those orbs, and there'll be an item in each one. So usually you want to have an oak stake before you go into a mansion. But we have not seen any mansions yet. We've seen all towns so far. You see the grind that Zytoriak is doing there. You see those harpies drop the big hearts. Those are worth 5 experience apiece. So it looks like he's trying to get to level 2 here. He does take a death. Level 2 is usually the level that you shoot for in the randomizer. At level 2, you get an increase in your maximum hit points, and it also gives you 50% damage reduction, which is quite a bit better than the 25% damage reduction you get at level 1, which is where both of our runners are right now. You see Zytoriak getting his level up. You also get a health refill every time you get a level up, but it gets increasingly difficult to gain levels as you go through the game. It takes 50 more experience for each level. So level 1 requires 100, level 2 150, level 3 200, and so on. And also, the enemies that you're fighting have to be higher level than you are in order to gain experience. So each zone in the game, each screen basically has a designated level. Most of the screens near the start of the game are either level 1 or level 2. So you have to go further out usually to get level 3 enemies. Let's see, Zytoriak pick up his oak stake, and Freeland has discovered the town of Ondal, which has 2 item checks. One of them is open at the start of the game. The other one requires either the holy water or the nail in order to break the blocks that are in the other shop. But the shop he's going into is wide open, so he can go ahead and head down the stairs. Other thing you'll see our runners doing is they're going to be doing floor drops. You'll see them doing some weird jumping patterns. That's to set up a specific subpixel to be able to perform the drop. If you don't have the right subpixel, floor drop just isn't going to work. So you'll see them jumping around. And there is a method to the madness. There are known setups for pretty much every floor drop in the game. Both of our runners are making use of the gold knife that they picked up in the first town. That knife does the same damage that your whip does, and it does damage for 3 ticks. So with a starting whip, it does a total of 3 damage if it hits for all 3 ticks. It also stuns the enemies, so that can be pretty useful. Just makes it across the swamp. See Zytoriak just a little bit behind Freeland here, heading into the town. Probably going to pick up the same thing that Freeland did, which is the silk bag. We'll see if he actually picks that up. That's not a required item. It allows you to hold more laurels. Laurels are items that give you temporary invincibility. So if you have the silk bag, you can actually hold 8 laurels at once. Without it, you can only hold 4. You see Freeland trying to get across the river. Now, with the enemies randomized on the river, you can sometimes get some very nasty patterns, but Freeland able to get across safely after a couple tries. Okay, we found our first mansion of the seed, and this is the Ruba mansion, which is a little bit interesting because this is basically an endgame mansion. This mansion is balanced around having endgame equipment, strongest whip, being leveled up. So this is going to be a little bit of a challenge. We still have the starting whip. Toriak taking advantage there of a glitch that if you kneel down on a tile that's at the lowest level and take a hit, you'll instantly die. That can be a way to, if you need to die quickly, that can be a way to do that. And Freeland gonna mostly be damage boosting through these enemies. Because almost everything's pretty much gonna have very high hit points. Things are gonna have at least 20 hit points, and sometimes as many as 40 or 50. And his whip only is going to do 1 damage each, so it's going to take forever to actually kill any of those enemies. Okay, Freeland finding the dagger, which I think he would have liked to pick up there, but he didn't have enough money to afford it. The dagger, the basic use of the dagger is that it does 2 points of damage rather than the 1 that the starting whip does, which is pretty useful. But the real thing that the dagger does for you in the randomizer is that it can allow you to do critical hits. If you hit an enemy on the last frame the dagger exists, it will do, instead of 2 damage, it'll do 185 damage. So it allows you to kill bosses really quickly, including the last boss, Dracula. Saw Freeland there picking up his first crystal, the white crystal. You need to get 3 crystals to complete the game, the white, the blue, and the red. And you'll always get them in that order, it's a progression system. Freeland going to take on this boss, Carmilla, with just the leather whip. This is going to take a while. Carmilla has 240 hit points, and he's going to do 1 damage per whip, so it's going to be a little bit slow. See if this pays off for him. Well, it looks like Zaitoriak has skipped out for now on Larua Mansion. He's going to do a little bit of farming. Lays in the damage to Camilla. Pretty good whip rhythm there, and that's pretty good. And I guess I think was the clue item that we learned about earlier, the nail. So the nail is a key item. It allows you to break breakable bricks that are vertically spaced or vertically aligned. So that gives him access to several additional checks, including that second shop that we mentioned earlier in the town of Ondel that he wasn't able to see earlier. So we'll see if he heads back there or if he's going to check out more on the left side of the map. Meanwhile, Zaitoriak going to continue to farm here. Curious to see what he's farming for. He may be trying to go to level 3, which is going to take a little bit, but it'll make him even more tanky than he is now. Level 3 requires 200 experience after getting level 2. These medium parts are worth 3 experience apiece. That is a bit of a grind. Freeland grinding in the same spot. He's still looking to get level 2. Toriak picking up level 3.
We got time for a quick plug?
Absolutely.
I did want to go ahead and let chat know we are just $64.83 away from hitting $1,500 for tonight. So if we could go ahead and get that pushed in, chat, we will be that much closer to beating summer 2023's donation cap for day 1. And again, I want to remind everybody that all the money that's being donated is going to go towards the Burn Children's Fund. One of their big projects that they're working on right now is educating burn care providers by sponsoring advanced burn life support courses for physicians and nursing staff. American Burn Association memberships for the pediatric burn team, burn care conference attendance, and continuing education is all part of their current work. So all your money is going to a fantastic cause, helping out pediatric burn victims. So let's get that in. I want to see 1,500 before my donation shift ends. You want to see 1,500 before this ends, Billick?
Absolutely.
Awesome. Get that money in, chat. Use the link in the chat on the Tiltify to get those donations in.
Awesome. So, okay, I actually missed it. Looks like both of the runners have picked up a whip upgrade. I didn't see where that was, but that is they're actually doing twice as much damage than I thought they were doing. So that's actually pretty helpful. But I didn't catch where that was.
Getting a donation really quick. We got $20 from Anatolu. Says good luck, runners. Well, thank you very much for the generous donation. Keep those coming in, chat. We're so close to $1,500.
Awesome. Toriak going to go ahead and he's going to use the gold knife here and get the stun lock in on Camilla. This is probably going to go a bit faster than it did for Freeland with the stun lock in there. So he's going to be doing 6 damage per knife, and then he's doing an additional 2 damage with his whip on each one of these cycles. See Freeland use that nail to just pick up to break these blocks, and he's going to pick up a second whip upgrade. So he has the chain whip now, which does 4 damage, and that's a nice upgrade for him. When you get that 4 damage, that starts to be a pretty solid amount of damage, and you can start killing a lot of these enemies pretty quickly. We will have Toriak finishing off the boss there, picking up his nail. Another thing we'll see our runners doing is they're taking advantage of one of the randomizer features, which is that if you pause the game and hit up and A, you'll actually get warped back to the starting location. So you'll be seeing the runners using that strategically quite a bit. So if you're wondering how they are moving around like that, that's what that is. Double floor drop there by Freeland as he replenishes his oak stake. Oak stakes are one-time only use, so once you use one, you have to find another one to be able to break the next orb. And you can only carry one at a time, so oak stake management is often really important in this randomizer. Toriak unable to get that 4-drop, so he's gonna just go ahead and come in the long way around. He's gonna pick up his whip upgrade. He'll be on even footing offensively with Freeland. Freeland had a little bit of trouble with that 4-drop, but finally manages to get it. I'm going to go ahead and equip the blue crystal, which allows this screen transition down into this area here, which will be a random town or mansion. And this looks like Bodley Mansion, which normally is the second to last mansion that you would do in a normal run. Two item checks in this mansion, one vendor and one orb, so pick up those two items and those will help him out. Like Toriak took an intentional game over there, didn't have that card, so just getting a refresh on his lives. And, taking a strategic game over can sometimes be a smart play if you just need to reset things, get a fresh set of lives. That can be pretty helpful. See if Freeland goes for the double 4-drop here. He went for it, but he didn't get it. If you get a double 4-drop there, you can actually do a wraparound jump where Simon will fall through the floor and come out the top and end up right next to the vendor. So that's a trick that can save around 20 seconds or so if you can pull it off. A little bit tricky if you get it, but it is worth it. Toriak picking up his second crystal, which Freeland got earlier. Freeland gonna get eyes on the vendor, and that's the garlic. The garlic can be an important item. It lets you, if you drop the garlic in either of the two graveyards, it'll spawn an NPC that will give you a free item. So that garlic unlocks 2 additional checks. Orb has a couple laurels for Freeland, so probably not exactly what I was looking for, but that can be pretty useful. Again, those laurels give you temporary invincibility when you use them. Looks like Freeland's got a little bit of a lead here. Just a little bit ahead of Toriak right now. Maybe a minute or two ahead at this point. There you saw Freeland doing another little glitch there. If you take your hand off the D-pad the frame before you jump while you're on a moving platform, it'll give you a little boost, save you about a second or so. It's a frame perfect trick, but it looks pretty cool and it does save a little bit of time. So Zytoric picking up, I believe that's his third crystal. So having all 3 crystals gives you access to the notorious Tornado Warp, which is one of the most cryptic puzzles in the vanilla game. Of course, our runners already know what the red crystal does. And this tornado will take you to the other side of the map and can see if potentially maybe there's some good items over there that will allow Zytoric to catch up a little bit here. And Freeland checking out the graveyard there, dropping the garlic and picking up the rib, which is another required item. Executing that whip jump there. Now, you're not supposed to be able to get over that ledge, but the programmers of the game had a little bit of oversight. If you do a whip jump on just the right pixel, you actually are able to get over that ledge and get over to the other side and get to the end game portion of the game, as the map is actually one continuous map. You just saw Zytoriak picking up his third whip upgrade, which is the Morning Star, which does 8 damage. So Zytoriak's got some pretty good offense right now. While we see Freeland finding Brahms Mansion, which has 3 item checks in it. Zytoriak going to use his nail and to break these blocks and get a free item from this NPC. And that is the heart, which is actually a pretty big deal. That unlocks an area on... Basically, if you show the heart to the ferryman on the river, instead of taking you to the left side of the map, it actually takes you to a location which it's actually Brahms Mansion in the vanilla game, but it's in the town randomizer. It's a random mansion or town. Zytoriak taking the long route over to the location where Freeland is right now. Freeland finds more garlic. He doesn't really need it anymore at this point, so he passes on that. Attempt the trick here. He's going to try to do a floor drop and then do a jump to the next screen. Missed the jump there. If you actually jump within a 3-frame window to the right, it'll give you a shortcut into the boss room. But missed it a little bit, so he's going to have to go the long way around. Whipping down the boss and picking up the holy water. Holy Water, normally a welcome site that allows you to break any breakable block in the game, whereas the nail only allows you to break some of the blocks. So the Holy Water may or may not be required depending on where the items are randomized to be. If there are any required items behind Holy Water blocked areas, then the Holy Water is actually not required to finish the randomizer. But it can be very helpful to pick it up, so I'm sure Freeland was happy to see that. I've got Zatorak coming in just behind him, and gonna get all these checks that Freeland just saw. Picks up that clue. Freeland going to check this check that he didn't see earlier. You see him using the Holy Water to break those blocks. Those blocks are going to be broken by either the nail or the Holy Water. And Freeland picking up his red crystal. So both runners now have the red crystal. Tarek having a bit of trouble setting up this floor drop. He might not be able to get it here. Sometimes the setup doesn't work. Looks like he's going to go for the backup setup now. Don't think that's going to work. Oh, he got it. Okay. And he also missed the jump, so lose a little bit of time, although basically not even putting his Freeland there, they both missed it. Pretty tough to get. It's a 3-frame window with not very good visual cue. Oh, and Zatorak using the dagger crit there to take out death in one shot. Really nicely done. Picking up the Holy Water. Don't think he has an oak stake, so he's not going to check out what's in the orb. I believe that was something that was not required, if I recall correctly. Well, we got Freeland going to go over and check out the other graveyard, going to pick up the other item from dropping the garlic. Tarek gonna get this hard to reach clue. Actually squeeze a Holy Water in there, which is nicely done. You can actually find another clue here. And that's pretty useful clue. That actually tells them that an oak stake is not required to do Rover Mansion. The Rover Mansion orb has an oak stake in it, so not required to get an oak stake for that one. That could be useful knowledge going forward. I didn't see what the graveyard item was. I don't know if anyone caught that. I was looking over at my Zartorak side. Zaytorak unable to get through the swamp. Let's see if he gives it another try. He's probably gonna want to get across because the he hasn't gotten the graveyard check there, and he just got garlic, so he's gonna want to get over there if he can. We'll see if he can. He might give this a couple tries because that's gonna save a lot of time if we get over there without taking another death. You see Zaytorak jumping through the swamp to try to conserve health. Picking up another oak stake. Nope, Zaytorak not able to make it across. He's gonna give it another go. You see Freeland using the holy water to break the 4 bricks, and he picks up the ring, which is another required item. Was Zaytorak able to get safely across? That took a couple tries, but able to get over. Zaytorak picking up his rib. Freeland going to use the Tornado Warp to remember to switch to the red crystal to get that. Zaytorak going to head down to the area Freeland was in earlier. Going to use the crystal to reveal this area coming up. And yeah, the tornado apparently took Freeland right into a commercial break.
You hate to see it. So, having never seen one of these before, how on pace would you say that these guys are on? A little ahead with these settings, a little behind, right about like where they would be normally?
I would say so. Usually like sub-hour is a very good time for the town randomizer. That's a little bit more difficult than the standard. It's pretty common to be over an hour. Yeah, it looks like these guys are both probably going to be a bit over an hour on this one, depending on how the end game shakes out.
Good stuff.
This is a pretty typical pace. And the seed's kind of been running them around a bit, so they might be a little bit behind where they might normally be.
All right, looks like we're still working on getting Freeland's stream back up. And of course, tornadoes, not good for Twitch. They don't mix. In chat, while we're working on getting Freeland's stream back up, I did want to just go ahead and take this moment to let you all know that we are super close to hitting that $1,500 threshold. We're only about $44 and some change away. And I would love to see that before the end of this amazing marathon, amazing randomizer run. Just a reminder to everybody that if you donate using the Tiltify link that's about to pop up here in chat, $25 minimum donation will get you entered to win a $50 gift card for Steam. And all of those donations, again, are going towards the Burn Children's Fund for South Carolina firefighters, sponsored by the Medical University of South Carolina. So all that money is going towards a fantastic cause. We still do have 2 more days of the marathon, so it's not the end. But, you know, I just love beating out Summer's record, you know? Love beating records here.
Got all the info right there in chat. Got Freeland back up, and Freeland, I'm not sure where he found it, but he has found Berkeley Mansion, which is normally the first mansion you'll see in a casual play of Castlevania 2. I'm looking at Freeland's menu. He just needs one more item to be able to get to the end of the game, and that is the magic cross. So once he finds that cross, he'll be in go mode. I think Satoriak needs a couple more items to get into go mode. So it looks like Freeland maintaining that lead that he's kind of had the whole way. Maybe widening it just a little bit. He's probably like 2 to 3 minutes ahead at this point. There is that magic cross, so Freeland is in go mode. So he will probably just head directly to the end of the game as he makes that double drop there. I'll try to set up another 4 drop here, and this one's a little bit tricky. Not super surprising he's having some trouble with that. There he gets it. So looking like Freeland, barring some sort of disaster, is probably going to take this one home. He's actually probably going to be well under an hour here.
We got a $10 donation from KCR with no comment. Thank you so much for the generous donation, chat. We are just $34 and some change away from that $1,500 threshold. Keep it up. I know you guys can beat that high score from Summer.
Thanks for that donation, KCR. And you're seeing Freeland taking advantage of that silk bag he picked up earlier, and he's able to spam laurels here. Get through some screens that otherwise would be pretty tough to get through. Just kind of able to walk right through by using those laurels. Freeland is on the second to last screen before the final castle. He's pretty close to the end here. Might even be able to manage a sub 50 here. This really came together for him at the end there.
Speaking of 50, we just got a $50 donation from Saracen. It says $1,500, yo. Donations go towards Date Marin and Link's Awakening DXR, which is still a better love story than Twilight. So thank you so much for that generous donation. Got another $25 from Opry 99er. Thank you all so much. We have exceeded $1,500. GG's, chat.
All right, great job, everybody. Got Freeland heading into the final castle for the final showdown with Dracula. This is something Freeland was talking about a little bit earlier. There's a little bit potentially faster setup to do this floor drop, but it looks like maybe he didn't quite get the correct subpixel. So there you go, got it. And that location, you can actually chain together four floor drops in a row and get what we call the quad drop. Very difficult trick to pull off. That saves quite a bit of time. Freeland got 2 drops there, which is pretty good. That saves a little bit of time. He's going to head on to the final encounter. We'll see what strategy he uses for Dracula. He's got a few options here. He could just whip Dracula down. He could use the holy water to do a crit kill, or he could use the dagger to also do a crit kill. And he's going to opt for the whip strategy. He's going to go for the whip holy water strategy. That's where he do a little bit of damage with the whip, and then finish off Dracula with holy water and get your GGs out for Freeland. He's going to take this race the time a little bit under 50 minutes. So nice job by Freeland. That's a very good time for that seed.
You know, look like that tornado just fast-tracked him straight to the end.
Yeah, pretty much. That was a quick finish there. It looks like Zaitorek going to throw in the towel here. But good effort by him. That was not an easy seed to navigate.
See if we can get both of the runners here unmuted for a quick post-race interview. Looks like Zaitoriak is here. GG's.
Yo, thanks. That was a tricky one.
Indeed. I'm waiting on Freeland to come here, and then Bill, we'll let you have the floor for a quick interview.
Yeah, what do you think about gave you the most trouble in that one?
Routing, I think, was the hardest part for me, because I only knew where two oak stakes were, and one of them was in Doina, ineligible location, so I felt like I needed to keep going back to that one in case I find, especially with how many towns I found right away. I felt like I was going to be starved for oak stakes later when there's going to be like mansion after mansion after mansion.
Yeah, that was a pretty tough one to route, I thought. Freeland did a really good job with his routing on that one. That was probably the difference in that seed.
After I found the holy water, I was hoping to find a way to just do a clear swoop, but which I was on the way to, but yeah, it just didn't pan out, which is randos being randos. GG Freeland.
Having a little bit of trouble hearing Freeland. I don't know if his sound is down or anything. Having some technical problems here.
It would probably help if my mic was turned on.
There we go.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't remember if there was a Drac part that was stuck behind holy water, because I know I went out of logic to grab it.
I think the only one that might have been would be the garlic behind holy water? I don't remember anymore.
No, both garlic checks were not holy water blocked from what I remember. The first one definitely wasn't, because it was that first garlic I found was that Bodley Merchant.
That was the second one I found. I found the first one in Brahms Merchant.
Yes, that's where the other one was. Yeah, I actually forgot to get an oak stick before I went into Brahms, and it was right there too.
Oh, you didn't need anything. I saw a clue that said it was laurels in the orb.
Yeah, and then I saw a clue that says Laura's like, I was laughing. Just like when I was laughing when this, before I got the bodily orb, it said, I'm going to do cemetery jump if I get laurels. I was laughing as it unveiled itself. And it turns out the cemetery jump led to an out of logic holy water. I think that's probably basically what made that run for me. I was dreading the Brahms area revisit.
Yeah, I was there. I literally was just an elbow when I forfeited. Because I ended up taking the red crystal. I took the tornado and then took that through like the Laruba vanilla spot. And then I did the cemetery wrap around.
Yeah, weirdly enough, that was almost similar to a standard map. How you'd map the standard map, in my opinion. At least how I do it, but
I did think it was interesting. Like I was telling Bill, like it was like all towns up front, and then so I was worried about the oak stakes for if it was going to be all mansions in the back half.
yeah, and I think I only needed to use oaks. I only had to go through 3 mansions with an oak stake because by the time when I got to the Berkeley Merchant, that was go mode for the Magic Cross.
Yeah, I never found Berkeley. I didn't get the ring or the cross.
Yeah, I was gonna say Berkeley was at I think the ring might have been the one Drac part that was blocked by holy water. I'll have to go through the recording.
Yeah.
Well, that was a great race from both of you guys, and I'm happy to see it. If anybody wants to check out this randomizer, where can they find it?
So we do have a Discord, but I'm not sure if we have a link to it anymore. But we can post a link into the chat, into the stream chat.
Here's if I can find it on Google search. If not,
I know it's Kale Tech, but I don't remember so that's why I'm just gonna grab it from the Discord really quick.
Well, I mean, the website does have a link to the Discord.
Oh, even
let me see what the homepage does. Yeah, the homepage does. Wait, hold on.
Okay.
Double check, make sure it links to the one we're using versus the one.
We have a chat command. We've put it in the chat and it's already pulled you guys up.
Oh yeah.
So there you
All right,
have it,
thanks.
Chad. If y'all had fun watching this, check out the links in the Discord. Any final shout outs, Freeland, Zaitoriak?
It's GG on a good race. That was fun.
Yeah. I was expecting like a early on. I was expecting a very nasty seed early on because I was getting. I basically made about 30 mistakes at the beginning, but somehow it ended up like falling in place in the last 10 minutes.
Yeah, I got walled on the river
about
for about 5 minutes. It felt like.
Yeah, that boat ride was terrible.
Yes. GG's river.
A well-timed whip striker or jump was the only way you weren't dying.
Yep.
But that's sometimes what happens in enemy randomizer when you.
Especially with
Unfortunately,
no
not to
early
start with
laurels.
that. Yeah, that's about it.
Alrighty. Well, thank you guys so much for, again, putting on a fantastic race for us tonight. We are going to go ahead and start getting set up for the next run, which is going to be Earthbound PK Scramble, but I am going to be calling it for a night, guys. Again, my name has been Hebinks, and it's been my great pleasure to host for this wonderful charity marathon. I will be leaving y'all in fantastic hands, though. My friend Giga Otomia from the Mystic Quest Discord will be taking over in my stead. But I want to go ahead and say thank you all so much for helping us get over that $1,500 threshold on my shift, and I'll see you all next time. But until then, stay tuned.